Jujutsu Kaisen is filled with powerful characters, but some of their family histories are even crazier than their fights. Some were abandoned by their parents, some were abused by their own clans, and some were literally created as part of a 1,000-year-old plan. So today, we're breaking down the most important and disturbing family stories in Jujutsu Kaisen. Let's start with Yuji. For most of the series, Yuji seems like a normal teenager raised by his grandfather, Wasuke Itadori. Before Wasuke died, he tried to tell Yuji something about his parents, but Yuji refused to listen, and honestly that's probably because the truth was insane. Yuji's father was Jin Itadori, but his mother was Kakalori Itadori. Kaori had the stitches across her forehead associated with Kenjaku. Kenjaku is the ancient sorcerer who survives by taking over other people's bodies. This means Yuji's birth was connected to Kenjaku's plans, and Yuji himself wasn't exactly normal. His incredible physical strength, unusual resistance to cursed energy, and ability to contain Sukuna suggest that his existence was deliberately engineered. So Yuji wasn't simply a random teenager who happened to become Sukuna's vessel. He may have been created for that purpose from the very beginning, and that's what makes Yuji's family history so disturbing. Next is Megumi Fushiguro. His father was Toji Fushiguro, also known as the Sorcerer Killer. Toji was born into the Zenin clan, where people were judged almost entirely by their cursed techniques. But Toji had almost no cursed energy. The clan treated him horribly. Ironically, his lack of cursed energy gave him incredible physical abilities, turning him into one of the most dangerous fighters alive. But Toji wasn't exactly a great father. After Megumi's mother died, Toji eventually arranged to sell Megumi's rights to the Zenin clan. Yes, he was willing to sell his own son. Megumi could have ended up trapped inside the same family that had destroyed Toji's own childhood. But Gojo intervened. After defeating Toji, Gojo decided to protect Megumi. And during Toji's final moments, he asked Gojo to look after his son. It was probably the closest thing to genuine fatherhood Toji ever showed. Then we have Maki and Mai. The twins were born into the Zenin clan, where power was everything. Maki had almost no cursed energy, while Mai possessed cursed energy, but had a much weaker technique. Their father, Ogi Zenin, considered both girls failures. Maki eventually left the clan to become a sorcerer, but Mai stayed behind and suffered because of the family's hatred toward Maki. Despite their complicated relationship, the sisters genuinely loved each other. Eventually, Ogi attacked them both and nearly killed them. Mai was fatally wounded, but before dying, she used her remaining cursed energy to create a weapon for Maki and remove the last traces of cursed energy from her body. Maki became similar to Toji, and then she returned to the Zenin estate and destroyed the clan that had abused them for years. The Zenin family spent generations believing that power made someone valuable. In the end, that obsession created their own destruction. Choso's family story might be the strangest of them all. Choso and his brothers were part of the 9 death painting wombs. They were created through horrific experiments involving humans and cursed spirits, and were eventually sealed away as cursed objects. Choso considered his brothers his entire family, so when Yuji killed 2 of them, Choso wanted revenge. But during his battle with Yuji, something unexpected happened. Choso began experiencing memories of Yuji being his brother. And eventually, the truth became clear. Kenjaku was connected to the creation of the death paintings and had also taken over Kaori Itadori's body before Yuji was born. That connected Choso and Yuji. Suddenly, Yuji wasn't his enemy anymore. He was his little brother. From that point forward, Choso became one of Yuji's strongest protectors, and eventually, he sacrificed himself to save Yuji. A character who never had a normal childhood ended up becoming one of the most loving brothers in the entire series. Now let's talk about Gojo. We don't know much about his parents, but his family itself is incredibly important. The Gojo clan is one of the 3 major sorcerer families. Gojo inherited the Limitless technique, but what made him truly unstoppable was his combination of Limitless and the 6 Eyes. The 6 Eyes is an extremely rare ability that gives its user extraordinary perception and control over cursed energy. When someone possesses both abilities, they become an almost unbeatable sorcerer. And Gojo was that person. His birth completely changed the balance of the Jujutsu world. But there is an interesting question. What was it like, growing up knowing you were essentially born to be the strongest? We don't know exactly how Gojo's parents raised him, but his personality suggests he wasn't treated like an ordinary child. He was a weapon, a symbol, and the future of his clan. And maybe that's one reason Gojo later became so determined to protect his students.